Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mock Sports presents the Quaddie Poddy. Cashy joined by Nick. What a way to get started off in the spring last week. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, doing all right, mate. Look, I can't complain really with how we went. A lot of my runners got scratched, but you had a decent day out, mate, which saved us. But yeah, considering the conditions were very, very ordinary in Sydney, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 on a card like that. I'm not going to complain, especially the run we went on. I think it was like race 2 all the way to race, 6. We had winners, or race 7 or 8. It all came in bunches. It was really, really good. Before we get into those winners, talk about those conditions, man. We thought it's a shoe-in to get called off, and it actually raced really, really well. I think a lot of us coming into this week, we're going like, that's crazy. They're going to wreck the track. Track's going to be shit. But like, I think we forget, go back to Everest Day. People were ankle deep in water at 3 a.m. in the morning on Everest morning. And then Everest track was sloppy, but still raced as fairly as anything.
Yeah.
Like, we still got great racing on the day.
100%. It was a pretty nice day on Saturday in the end as well.
Yeah.
The sun was out.
I was spewing. I didn't go to the track. I thought it was going to be bucketing down.
Yeah, so... But no, good day in the end. Held up really well. Shout out to the groundsmen out at the ATC. They did really well, and it's good to get Group 1 racing back on the track for spring.
Yeah, it's certainly a big win for racing that we went ahead and it actually did really, really well. Like Chris Waller was going bang on radio early in the morning saying, this is ridiculous, shouldn't be racing, my horses are going to run like shit. And then they all ran out of their skin, which we'll get on into a minute. But I mean, yeah, 6 winners: Neil, Savvy Halley, Nelly Lalex, Kerguelen, Autumn Glow, via Sistina. There's only one race we didn't have a single horse place. We won the quaddie as well, but unfortunately we lost money on a winning quaddie because all of the favourites got up. But I mean, that's just, what happens sometimes. Yeah. At least we've got our eye in. But let's talk about those Chris Waller performances, because crazy. Autumn Glow will go first.
Yeah, what a run, hey. Absolute champion. She's going to be awesome this spring. I don't think anyone can argue that.
Like, got squeezed for room for the first time ever, had to, run on like this shit deck for the first time ever, and just, didn't falter one bit. J-Mac just switched her to the inside, which was the inferior part of the day, and just, got her over the line. She had to dig and dig and dig, but she still just got the job done. Winners win. It's incredible.
Yeah, it was a tough win. Definitely. It wasn't easy. She had to work, and she worked really well and got it done.
Like, everyone's saying she could win the Everest, she could win the Epsom, she could win the Cox Plate. Put her in anything, she's going to win. I don't know. What race do you want to see her in this spring? Because it looks like the jury's out. Waller said she could go anywhere. They haven't fully set a plan for her. So where do you want to see her?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more competition in like a sprint race. You never know. She could get it done. I don't know, to be honest. It also depends where he can spread all of his runners now that Lady Shenandoah is going to the sprints, and he's got obviously so many other good horses. He gets to pick. So who knows what he does? There's nowhere. I'm just happy to see wherever she goes. In particular.
You're right though. Like, he's got 5 really good mares, but realistically, they could all have separate grand finals, so he doesn't have to go against each other. Like, Lady Shenandoah's headed to Everest now. Aliana's might be headed to Caulfield Cup, but still jury's out. He doesn't love sending his young horses to the cups. Sistina's obviously Cox Plate. Fangirl's obviously King Charles, and now Autumn Glow. She could just go Epsom Golden Eagle and dodge the rest of them. All of those 4-year-old girls might all end up in the Golden Eagle anyways. That's where I would probably like to see her go. I think Golden Eagle is going to be the most stacked it's ever going to be this year if all of the potential horses end up there. So I would like to see her to keep making the Golden Eagle one of, if not the best race of the spring, as it has been the last couple of years. But yeah, freak. She gives me those like Animo vibes of how we used to say, like, put him in a sprint, he's going to win. Get him up to 2,000, he's going to win. Like, he's just that good.
Yeah, 100%.
Winners win. And I think she is going to be very hard to beat unless a run like that's busted her, which is what Chris Waller was worried about, the fact that they were racing. He's worried now, potentially, we've got to see how they go second up, third up, to see if that took all the energy out, producing that sort of effort on such a bodgy track. But speaking of another horse that was meant to run like shit and still got the job done, I'm so glad I stuck with it. Sistina.
Yeah, great win and pretty good odds for her when she's not going to be like that for the rest of the spring. That's for sure. Honorable mention Eliana, very tough run from her as well. So she's going to have some exciting things happen in spring as well. I think she's the next up and comer of many that Waller's got in his camp, as we keep on bringing up. But she had a very tough run as well against the best in the world. So
yeah, I'm very glad she didn't get there, because obviously listeners of last week's episode know she was my backup when I thought Sistina inevitably scratches. So I was going to be spewing if I missed out on 10 points if she got over Sistina there. But again, winners win. Like, the writing was on the wall. She didn't have to win there, but then, Eliana was breathing down her neck and she still got over the line. She was vulnerable first up, wrecked deck, 1,400 meters, not ideal for her, but she still got the job done. So now we just got to see the next couple of starts, if it's wrecked or if she's just that good and she just keeps, rolling through the spring undefeated. You never know. But, I mean, the world is Chris Waller's oyster, as it is every single carnival, and I can't wait to see how all of these horses go, because they're in for phenomenal springs if, they're not busted.
100%.
So I think, that's really it. Should we get into the hotline? Because we've got plenty of hotline. We've got plenty of listener questions this week. This comes from Zingon Dabbler.
Mock hotline. Zingon Dabbler, long-time listener, first-time caller, first of many during the spring.
Hell yeah.
I think we have a potential winner for the first inclusion on the fraud board. I'm going to go Oak Hill. That was a shit run by Mark Zara.
Mm-hmm.
I must say so myself. It was just a bad day all round for the big fella. He had plenty of great rides. He had a number of favourites at the Valley and just couldn't deliver. So I guess my question is, are we going to put Oak Hill as the first horse on the fraud board, and can we potentially add Mark Zara onto that board with it? Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Mate, don't I know it. Oak Hill, my best bet of the day, ran like shit. Barraquil is still the same dog that it was this time last year. Looking forward to seeing its spring. But, I'm glad you brought it up, mate, because we have the fraud board right here.
I'm going to write it because your handwriting is always terrible.
All right, mate. Chuck Oak Hill on there, the fraud watch board. Now, Oak Hill's definitely going on there. We need to see it bounce back to get off the fraud watch. There it is, mate. Show the people watching on YouTube. Oak Hill is a fraud. But do we put, I'm going to pitch here, do we also put Gringotts on there? Or was that not that bad of a run to consider that it was a fraud watch? Because I'm just saying it from the perspective that it was meant to come out and win. I know it wasn't the favourite, but every expert was saying this is just Gringotts race.
I'll write it down. Everyone knows my opinions on Gringotts for this.
Put him down. I reckon, I know it wasn't a terrible run, but considering he was meant to be the upset horse and win the thing, let's whack Gringotts on there. Oh, geez. Let's whack Gringotts on there. Geez, now that I'm looking at it, you are right. Your handwriting is far better than mine.
I like it sitting there.
But yeah, Gringotts and Oak Hill. Gringotts and Oak Hill are our two frauds of the spring to start off with. They need to bounce back for us to take them off that board.
Leave it right there.
Famous for being on the board, Amelia's Jewel. She never got off that board. And I think it'll be hard for those not to get off as well. I think, those two need some good runs.
Stuffing up my lighting a little bit. Actually.
Yeah.
So we'll chuck it down the bottom.
They will certainly have to put in some good efforts next start to get off that board. Oak Hill more so than Gringotts. But yeah, those are our two first frauds of the spring as we move into Daniel. Let's see here.
Boys, you are going to regret not getting on Here to Shock. Get the $16 whilst you can. He will cream him. Check it.
He'll shock.
Look, man, if Here to Shock wins this Group 1 on the weekend, my hat's off to you. You're a smarter man than me. I just can't see it beating the caliber of horses that it's going up against this weekend.
It'll run very, very sound, but to no cigar, in my opinion, as we spoke about Stapati vibes.
Big Stapati vibes. Lockie Howard, what's he got to say?
Hey, boys. Hope you're both well. Treasure of the Moment, 9 in a row. But if one of you can tell me off the top of your head what the best horse it's beat is, because honestly, I can't think of a single, even now, a Group 3 contender in all the races that she's versed horses. Nothing against her. I think she is really good. But is she up to the level of the horses that are in the Memsie on Saturday? And most of them are running on arguably their best distance. Treasure of the Moment is probably 600. You can even argue 1,000 meters off her best distance. And she hasn't beaten a horse. You can argue remotely close to the caliber horses she's versing. So what do you boys reckon about that?
Look, it's a good point.
That
Top
is
of my head, I couldn't think of anything, and then I looked it up, and I still couldn't name a good horse that she's beaten.
I think that's always been the argument coming through, but in every race that she's won has been so dominant, no matter who it's been against, and the times kind of speak for themselves as well. I think her runs are really, really good. So look, we'll wait and see.
This is the next step, though. You got to be able to. Now she's up to weight for age against the boys. You got to be able to perform, and this is her first test. But I think 1,400 is obviously not her best distance. I think we've got to wait for her a bit to get up to temperature when it comes to the best runs she'll have this spring. We'll head to our boy Stocks Bloodstock. You know, it's paying $1.01 to mention Woderton here.
G'day, boys. Geordie from Stocks Bloodstock here. It's Woden week. I'm going to cut it simple. Raging Force, how the actual F is he favourite? $2.30, Woden $3. That's
I'll
disgusting.
Tell you later, mate.
What's the bet? They'll put up an offer for Woden on Saturday on the tab, like 10-1, and it'll just be a fill up for the punters. Frankly, Woden wins on Saturday. He's the best 3-year-old in the country, and he will prove it on Saturday. Appreciate you, boys. Have a good weekend.
Come on, man. I got to respect the love for the horse, because this was me with Osmosis 2 years ago. But how can you say he's the best 3-year-old in the country when he's won nothing?
He will be, though. He'll win this weekend and at a decent price. We'll talk about it a bit later.
Fair enough. Speaking of Osmosis, just want to put a soft launch out there. Just want to pitch it to the audience. Thinking of doing an Osmosis merch run. Do we think if we reached out to the people at Derby Racing, they'd be interested in maybe doing an Osmosis merch run, collab with the Mock Sports? And if we did so, let us know, would you buy such a thing? I'm thinking like bootleg style Osmosis tee. We don't have to sell heaps of them, but I think it'd just be a funny, nice little memento. Mock Sports X Derby Racing, Osmosis bootleg merch. If you'd buy it, let us know. And we'll head to the last one. Fordy's got some words for us, mate. Some words of wisdom from James Ford.
Hello, fellas. 40 here. Just checking in with my boy Nick, seeing how his recovery from his hamstring injury is going. It's a big game coming up on the weekend. Just seeing if he's got the minutes in his legs, run out a full game, and hopefully come home with a W.
Thanks, 40. Yeah, Hammy's feeling nice and strong, mate. Rehabbed it really well. Played the last couple of weeks. So yeah, finals this Sunday. Should get the dub.
Finals footy. Nick Hyland has not played finals football in, 4 years?
Yeah, since my first year at under 19s at our club. But yeah, I'm pretty confident in the way we go. So I've clocked, let me have a look. This is on my Garmin. 17 Ks this week so far. So lots of Ks in the legs, getting it done, and another session tomorrow night before Sunday. So
is there a captain's run going on?
Captain's run tomorrow
Wow.
night. Yeah.
Jeez, we're taking it seriously down here at the local football. Get to Bruce Purcell Reserve on the weekend, fellas. If you want to see Nick get, I reckon, 20 touches. I'm going for 20 plus in my
I hope so.
Alrighty, mate. Hit us with some listener questions.
Get him straight up here. There is plenty to go through. This is going to be half the pod is going to be listener questions, which we love, though. We're not complaining. We absolutely love the support and the retention we're getting. So Will Stoney asked, we reckon Jimmy Ricard goes bang again.
Yep. He's in my tips. You'll hear about that later.
Awesome. Hayden Miles, thoughts on the GOAT's haircut, Robbie Dolan? Personally, I think it's Melbourne Cup ×2-esque.
I haven't seen it. What's
I haven't seen it either.
We're going to have to look at it. Let's see. Is it just a real outrageous haircut that he's gotten? Or is it he's still his short bleached hair? I thought that's what he was rocking.
Yeah, there's nothing coming up, eh? I'm going to have to take his word for it there. Corey Thompson, not really a question, but a lock. Apocalyptic to win the Golden Rose and the Everest, lock.
It's because he owns it. That's why he's saying that. He's got he owns its whisker in my racehorse.
Looks like this guy's name's Coops. V to go undefeated. She'll go close.
I mean,
definitely an argument.
If she wasn't busted, I will not be shocked one bit if Sistina goes undefeated. I think the only thing that can beat her at this point is another Chris Waller horse. If an Autumn Glow or an Aliana meets her at its peak, maybe they can get it done. But if she's not busted off that run, Sistina should not lose this spring.
Fair enough. Toby, Herf, where will they target Angel Capital, Golden Eagle Chance?
I mean, you'd have to think Waller will put it towards the Golden Eagle. I mean, there's nothing really else sticking out for that horse other than maybe a lightweight Epsom Chance, but I would think probably just, Golden Eagle.
Yeah, maybe Epsom, I think. Ronick87 asks, is the world flat or round?
Shut up,
dickhead. Cameron Johns, Isha to win the Moya. Isha,
yeah. Good chance, very good chance.
I love the Moya. Good race. Jasper Langley, Mr. Brightside, 10th Group 1 this weekend. A lot of different punters on a lot of different things. Love the support, Jasper. Josh Barrett, not a question. A statement, Woden won't win this prep. I don't know if that's Cashy's burner account, but
I agree. Won't win. Will be retired in about 2 months' time.
Okay. Does Antino get the job done from Jack Timmer? Personally, I don't think so. We'll talk about it a bit later. I think better opponents.
Yeah, we'll unpack it in a bit.
And last one, Matt asks, will J-Mac overtake Ollie in Group 1 wins before or after spring?
Great.
How many
question.
Is he off?
I want to see how many he's off. I know he's within striking distance. List of jockeys with most Group 1s in Australia. Because my theory is once he passes Ollie, that's when he's going to go over to Hong Kong. Jockeys all-time Australian racing records. Let's see if it's going to load for me. I do know that I believe Damo Oliver was sitting around like the 128 mark. J-Mac has passed the 100 mark. I know he's closing in on 128. See if you can get it up before me. For some reason, this is taking forever to load for me. Damien Oliver is on 129. And let's look at J-Mac amount of Group 1s.
No, it doesn't.
J-Mac
93. Oh, is that?
has won. Let's have a look here. Right. He has won. Oh, that's not right. Racing.com has him listed as 93. That's not nowhere near right. I believe J-Mac is. Let's have a look. Let
me ask ChatGPT.
119. 119, and that was at the end of last season. So I think that makes him 120 with Sistina. Yeah.
Cool.
So he's got 9 to go. If that's correct, if he's got 9 to go, if
he gets 9 Group 1s in spring.
Very close. He'll go very, very close. Because I think if Sistina doesn't lose again, that's another 4.
Yeah.
Plus he'll be Autumn Glow's jockey, you'd think an Aliana's jockey, unless they clash in different states on different days.
100%.
I mean, he'll go very, very close. If that's correct and he only needs 9 more, he'll go very, very close.
Awesome. Let's get into the rundown, mate. That's great listener questions and hotline. Thank you guys very much for getting involved. If you want to get into one next week, leave your stuff down. But yeah, let's get straight into it.
And I will ask, guys, if you're still watching and listening, which I hope you are, please, can you just give us a subscribe on YouTube? Please give us a follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review. You'd be surprised how much it helps us. I saw that about 50% of the people that watched us on YouTube last week aren't subscribed to us. It's just a massive help. Just click that button for us. If you're watching every week and listening every week and you haven't done one of those things, just be a real one. Help us out and help us grow to be bigger and better. But the Rosehill rundown, the weather is finally fine and dandy in Sydney. The sun is shining. It is currently soft 7 at Rosehill. I would think that dries out to more soft 6 or 5 by the time race comes. Who knows, maybe even a good 4, but I really do think there's been too much rain in the last couple of weeks for that. But we should be on a drying track no matter what. Rail is out 3 metres for the entire circuit. Monitor that bias throughout the day. Leaders could have the slightest of slight advantages, but I do think the track's going to play pretty fair. Race 1, the 1800 metre benchmark 72 midway. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Moncana with Anaropa on board. Likes Rosehill, got the win here last start in the midway. Deck was much sloppier that day though, but I like the way he handled it. Hasn't placed on the soft, but I don't think that that's too much of an issue. Should be strong late. Hopefully gets up to $5.50 to win.
Awesome, mate. I'm going with the favourite, Wild Thoughts, first up here. 2 wins on the trot, going for 3 in a row. Has got it done on the good track and has also got it done on the heavy track. So untested on the softs, but can get it done on the heavy is usually a good sign. So we're going to move to the second here, 1400 meters, class 2 Tab Highway. This is always a very, very hard race, and I'm always stuck with it. I don't know. We used to do it differently, where I think I used to do the first race and I used to have the highway, and then we swapped.
Yeah, no.
Back in the day.
Yeah, you definitely used to get stuck with the highway. So
but I never always used to do the second. We swapped at one point.
Yeah.
And then anyway.
You're right.
This is another tough race here. My horse got scratched from last week. But I'm going with Ghost Walker here, $14, $3.60. Going with a roughie here. Honestly, guys, dartboard pick. If you want to go for something, pick whatever you want. But I will not be betting on this race personally.
Miss Fennel at the big price of $23 to win, $5 to place. Only missed the placings once. Will be on pace, and Schiller will give it a peach. Why not have a whack at the stumps in the highway, eh? And one thing escaped my mind, mate, because I've just been texted by the man himself, Jace. Shout out to Monarch Racing. Shout out to our horses. Fantastic trials.
Yes.
Last week. A second and a first. She's a Sort got a blistering second. Debut hopefully happening soon. October Star. My boy took home our first bit of success with a win in the trial. I know it's only a trial, but just it feels good to see these horses really getting up and about. Debuts will be coming hopefully soon. You'd think at the midway weeks first before heading into hopefully some Saturday grade races. The fun's about to begin.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see how we go. But yeah, great trials.
Yeah, so shout out. Head to the Monarch Racing website if you want to jump on board with the Monarch team. Maybe one day you'll be racing with the Mocs, because these horses, they're looking good. They're looking good. We move into race 3 here, 1,500 meter benchmark 78, and I'm a big Amrikia guy. Hardest horse to pronounce, but I love the way it goes about it. One of my more confident plays of the day. Undefeated until last start here a couple of weeks ago, where it just did not get through the bog. Back on top of the ground here with a good draw. I think she just wins at $3.30.
Awesome. I'm going for the other listed favorite, Sister Day, J-Mac Waller combo. Got pipped by Pippi Beach last start. So can get it done, I think, and will be my tip for race number 3.
Lovely.
Move over to race number 4, 1,500 meters, benchmark 78 here. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Rogue Rocker for me, got scratched last week. Coming down this week at $10, $2.80 will be a bit better suited to this kind of track conditions. A bit drier for him, so going to get it done, I hope. Rogue Rocker for me in the 4th.
I'll take anything goes at each way odds of $10 to win, $3.30. Inside barrier should be the clear leader and will hopefully be able to hold them all off late. Can go on any deck, but would probably prefer to have some juice still left in the track. I don't think it's going to get to a good 4, but this is the sort of horse that is really hoping it's going to be a soft 5, soft 6. But yeah, anything goes for me as we move to the 5th, 2,000 meter benchmark 78. Solid race this. Great pair of horses at the top of the market. Plenty of each way chances as well. I'm liking the look of Tazima over the other favorite here in Amusing, because Tazima, it's an import, and we know my, addiction for backing imports. But I mean, for good reason. These imports, they know how to get the job done over these distances compared to our local bred horses. Has been killing it at the midweek level. I don't think it should have ever been at the midweeks. It deserves to be in this sort of, benchmark 78 to 84, 90 range in the Saturday races, in my opinion. Gets the chance to prove himself here. Will appreciate the cut in the deck, and will be one of the strongest home late. $4.40. I'm all over Tazima here in the 5th.
Yeah, I'm taking Amusing, $3.20, J-Mac Waller combo again. 3 on the trot, going to go for 4 in a row. Likes it a bit softer as well, so can get it done. I'm very, very confident with this one.
Fair enough.
Move to race number 6 at 1,300 meters. This is another great race to go through. 60s is your favorite at $3.70. But I'm going with Aerodrome here.
Yep.
I almost said Aerodrome. Aerodrome here at $4.50. Regan Bayliss on board. But yeah, just a good looking horse here, going through, having a nice little prep here. Started off really well, fell off the last two, but going to forgive those two. But yeah, let's have a go here.
Look, I'm going to be honest, guys. This is a last-minute pick because I was on Central Coast, which has only just gotten scratched in the last couple of hours since we sat down here to record this. So, I mean, don't mind Aerodrome, but let's just go for a bit of value. Why not? Tyreek was one of my, second or third place picks. I mean, clearly, John O'Shea has an opinion of this horse because it's jumping up from a Canterbury maiden midweek all the way up to this, really solid race here in the up-and-coming stakes. Obviously, doesn't have the ability on paper of some of these, but I mean, why not? Dylan Gibbons on board should jump hopefully clean from that seventh barrier, get over a little bit and hopefully be off the leaders' backs coming around the bend. Why not? Tyreek each way in the up-and-coming stakes.
Awesome.
Move to the 1100 meter benchmark 78. Great race here. Probably race of the day outside the big one. Without Parallel as your favourite, will push forward likely leads with Shaggy, who looks to bounce back after a questionable ride from Ben Mellum last start. Let's just leave it at that. Dance to the Boom, Shervington and Husk, all great value chances as well. I've settled on Polygot though. Never missed the placings at this track. Missed it once at this distance and does his best work on second up. Has the speed to overcome the wide draw. Should be right on the back of the leaders coming around the bend. Very, very keen on him. One of my more confident players on the day. Polygot for me, $4.
Not bad, mate. Without Parallel for me, another favourite for me, actually. It's a day with a lot of short price that I like. 2 kilo claim brings it down to 54 kilos. But yeah, unbeaten for a reason. Very good horse running around. Great race as well. Move over to race 8, 1100 meters. This is a real good talking point here. I think Woderton for me, $2.90. I've said it's going to win a Group 1 this spring. And I think it's going to be a good setup. I think I said in autumn, it's certainly going to get better with age and didn't have the worst 2-year-old start. And honestly, you see a lot of horses have a decent 2-year-old start and do very well as they get older. So Woderton for me.
Great race. Devil Knight was a really good horse coming into the slipper. Rivellino was a really good horse going into the slipper. Arguably could have won the slipper. Baywalk was really good leading in the slipper and then didn't really run any good in the actual race. Woderton's Woderton. I don't think it'll run any good. Raging Force is your favourite, and that's the horse I'm on it here because I just think this horse is a sprinter. Compared to a few of these horses, I think are going to get better as they stretch out and head to a more Golden Rose type race, go to a more Guineas type race later on in the spring. I think this 1100 meters is perfect for Raging Force. I think it is an out and out 1100 meter, 1200 meter max sort of horse. It's been building up a picket fence. It's been really building into this race. It's really been, I think, set for this sort of race to go from here into the Golden Rose in a few weeks' time. I think, if Woderton's going to do any good, it's not going to be at the sprints. I think he's a big boy. He's going to need to stretch out. Raging Force is one of those little pocket rockets that's just going to jump, lead, get it done. Raging Force for me in the San Domenico. As we move to the 9th here, our Anchorage likely to be the leader with Estadio Mestala in this benchmark 100-meter race over 1,500 meters. Benchmark 100, not 100 meters. Converge, Palmetto also to be sitting on their tails, but I've sided with Mikhail. Horse that burst onto the scene out of nowhere this time last year. And all of his form now makes sense because he had form around Tom Kitten, Cheerwolf, also beat Gringotts. So that's some serious A-grade form there. It was out of nowhere this time last year, but now looking back on it, why shouldn't he have been, a very solid horse? So no wonder J-Max jumped on board here and he's undefeated first up. So why the hell is he at $11 to win, $3.20 to place? I'm all over it. Mikhail each way for me.
I'm going with Lord Penman here. Not sure if it'll get a start, but it's a highly regarded horse that has come from New Zealand. Had a first up run at Rosehill and ran really nicely at the benchmark 94. But yeah, $4.60 if it gets a run. Doesn't have a jockey nominated just yet, but is going to like the softness. Obviously, in New Zealand gets a bit more of a softer track there because they don't get as much heat. But yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be my tip if it gets a run. Awesome. Race number 10, 1,200 meters. Going to finish off with a benchmark 88 here. Lord Penman also nominated for this one. So if it ends up racing in this one, I'll back it here. If I have to go elsewhere, I'll go Gatsby's. I think great horse is only going to get better. So $9.50.
Fair enough. Sergeant Major for me. He's the favourite, but is he really a favourite when he's paying $7? Has Autumn Glow form. So, I mean, I'm happy to be backing that in here and see if it stacks up. So, hopefully we finish off the win there on an absolute quaddie killer of a race. Very open, but yeah, hoping we get through there to the end and get the win. All right, mate. It is time to head to the Great Spring Tip-Off. I'm headed to Fiji next week, guys. And by the time I get back from Fiji, and it'll be the 4th episode of the pod, we will have a punishment set because Nicko is still looking for a studio that will take him in to do his Pilates. But don't worry, we'll get that done and we will have a punishment set for the loser of spring. But I got off to a good start last week. I've got, 4.3 points on Nick as his horse Cheerwolf went unplaced. So at least that's something. We've both still held on to our jokers here. And for those of you playing along at home, we are just confirming prizes with some very excited sponsors, as we alluded to last week. That is why we have yet to confirm the final prizes to go out. That'll be coming in the next couple of days. Once we sign it on the dotted line and cross the T's, you will know what the final prize pool is and what their final prizes are potentially for some weekly prizes. That's all I'll say. But it's Caulfield Race 9, mate, the 1,400 metres, Group 1 Memsie Stakes. It's absolutely stacked. Just run down the field for me. What are you thinking?
You got Brightside here at $5.50 as your first runner. You got Kitten at $8.50, Antino $6, Hit a Shock, which one of our listeners tipped earlier at $20, Buckaroo at $34, who is definitely a very forgotten about horse. Probably not its distance, but still. Another Will, your favorite at $4.20. Pinstriped at $41. Is It Me, $31. Fangirl, after the scratching last week, comes at $5.50. Zardozi at $81. And Treasureth the Moment at $5.50 to run out the card. Group 1 racing is well and truly back, and this is going to be a real test for all these horses.
Stacked race.
To really see how they're going to go for this spring. Wow, this is one of the better races I've seen in the Memsie Stakes for a while.
Yeah, usually Memsie Stakes, it's literally, okay, Brightside's going to win. Let's, move on. But now he's got some competition. Fantastic race. Will say one thing about Zardozi when I was reading the stats here. 12 starts last season, not a single win. Does that not sound shocking to you? That's crazy to think.
How many placings? Probably like...
Placed 4 out of the 12 starts.
Oh, wow.
Didn't even win. Such a good horse. Always in our numbers. We're always picking her. $81 respectively here because one, it is nowhere near her distance and she's building up to bigger and better things. But I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that she hasn't won in, over a year and a half. That's crazy to think. But yeah, I mean, Antino, what do you do with him? Can obviously get the job done, likes Caulfield. It's been here a couple of times for some great success. Dominated that race at the end of the end of last spring, when it just went last to first like that, and then no one decided to chase him. And then, did his thing through the autumn and then came out and dominated through the Queensland winter. So he's on his way to a Cox Plate apparently here. We know that this has been his traditional sort of distance, 1,400 up to 1,600, and now he's being turned into a 2,000-meter horse. I don't know if he gets the win here. What do you think?
I personally don't. I don't hate him, but I think Another Will is the clear favorite here, and I do respect the odds. I think he is definitely, Another Will is definitely listed at this distance. This is his distance.
This is like prime Another Will.
Prime Another Will distance is 1,400 meters, so definitely a firm favorite. I think is definitely up there with mine. I think Antino, I just don't love the hype. I think likes a bit longer, really. Just 1,600, 1,800 if you want to push it a little bit more. But yeah, I just think it's a bit short. But then again, it's going to be short for a lot of horses in this race. You look at Brightside, you probably think he's not too bad, but he definitely likes the mile more.
But I mean, look, at 14 starts, he's only missed the placings twice at 1400.
Yeah,
like
fair
14,
enough.
he's in his sweet spot. Like it's 1400 and 1600. That's him.
Yeah.
We've established well and truly now. Anything over that, squib. But like 1400 to 1600, like he licks his lips.
Yeah.
But he's so old now.
He loves the track though.
Caulfield specialist, mate. Only missed the placings once at Caulfield.
Yeah.
But like I said last week, he reminds me a lot of Zaki. He's just a bit older, trialed shithouse. I know he's not a renowned trialer, but now he has been, like I said, the last few years, Brightside wins, let's move on. But now he's got some competition. Another Will is reaching its peak. Fangirl wasn't ever meant to be here, and because of the rain, Fangirl's here now. It is meant to be wet on the day, and Fangirl doesn't love the wet, so that could be against her. That's the only reason why I'm not with her. Spoilers. Otherwise, I would be on her like white on rice. You got your Antino now. You got your Tom Kitten now. You got your Treasure of the Moment now. Those last couple of years, did you have those horses? Not really.
Yeah. Fangirl is going to go as one of the all-time unlucky horses that is never going to be extraordinary compared to a lot of ones that she's faced, but she's always going to be mid.
Always
above mid.
Always had peak Animo, peak Brightside, or now Via Sistina to run into.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, to cut it off, I'm going to go with Treasure at the Moment here, $5.50. I think she is just a winner. She likes winning. She likes to be there at the end. And as we say a lot on this podcast, winners find a way to win. So $5.50 is a price I can have. She can get it done on the soft. She likes it very dry as well. So 2 from the distance, Treasure at the Moment for me.
Yeah.
Another will go very close.
Yeah, winners win, mate. Like, you know, horses don't know they drift. Horses don't know what odds they're at. Horses don't know what's going on other than there's the line.
Yeah.
I want it more than these other horses. That was what Animo was. Animo just dug and dug and dug. He knew where the line was and just said, fuck off, get out of my way. I'm getting there first. So I've set it on another boy in blue. I've set it on Tom Kitten. I said it last week. I've already backed him at $6. He's out to $8.50 now, $2.40. But I mean, I would have preferred it a bit dry. He doesn't love the wet, but I think that this horse is absolutely flying. I think this is the spring where he stands up. That's why I said he was potentially horse of the spring material. I think it's his time to shine. 5 years old now. He's hitting his peak. I think he's going to be a superstar of this sort of anything 1,400 up to 2,000 meters, except when he clashes with the likes of the Via Sistinas. I think, you know, this time last year, almost won this race. You know, he was the one that out of nowhere, like, he was, oh, sorry, not this time last year, this time autumn, first up in the autumn in the CF4, just, whoa, out of nowhere. No one figured that he was going to be matching it with them, and then all of a sudden he almost beat Mr. Brightside. Mr. Brightside only got up by a whisker, so we know he can contend. He's running, you know, a couple lengths off some of the best horses in the world. I think he just comes out here, he sits off leaders' backs, hopefully, you know, just goes past them in the end. I'm confident that if he's not winning, he's in the finish, and $2.40 to place for this horse is not a price I thought I was going to be getting. I'm very happy to be on Tom Kitten in the Memsie here. I just think Brightside's time's over. It's time for a new star. It's time for Treasure of the Moment. It's time for Tom Kitten. Only reason I'm not on Fangirls, I think it might slightly be too wet for her. I'm going to kick myself if she gets up here. And I think you're right. Another will go very, very close. If another will's outside the trifecta, I'll be shocked.
100%.
So around the grounds, anything else that you've found?
There's a couple in Caulfield, Gilded Water, which I know you'll probably have a look at as well. $3.40 in the first race, looks pretty nice. I think it's race number 7. I think Manal, or it might be race number. Race 7, Zarastro, $3.80 for me, and then race number 9 you got Manal.
Yeah, fair enough. I have gone Gilded Water in the first. Just has to carry a heavy weight, but I think it's just going to be better than the rest of them. Revelair in the 4th, I'm giving another chance after a failed run first up at $4.20. Race 6, I'm going Jimmy Ricard. Like I said, I think Jimmy Ricard could be my, you know, Coolmore tip. Needs to run well here to really keep going on that path. Race 7, you've got Marzu at $5.50. In race 10, you got Sepples at $3.20. I think they're all going to really love the conditions, especially Sepples, especially Marzu. Marzu finds a really winnable race for the first time in a while. I think Marzu can, get its toe in and get over the line. And then Sepples in the last year is another one that, relishes the sort of soggy deck and loves the distance. So I don't see how it either loses or if it doesn't win, it should right. Oh, geez. I'm tripping over my words tonight, punters. It should be right in the finish.
Awesome. Take us to the Quaddie, mate.
Quaddie, race 7, we got Polygot without parallel, Rosehill Star, Husk, that's 3, 6, 9, 10. In the 8th, Woderton, Raging Force, Rivellino, Baywalk, 2, 3, 5, 7. Race 9, Mikhail, Half Yours, Lord Penman, Palmetto, 3, 7, 13, 22. Race 10, Sergeant Major, Lord Penman, Gatsby's Emirate, 7, 14, 15, 16. $50 gets you 19.5%. Obviously, that's going to get edited once we figure out where Lord Penman is. So keep an eye on our socials. Keep an eye on our Dabble account. Make sure if you're downloading Dabble, use the code MOXSports to let them know we sent you. Gamble responsibly. Set a deposit limit. Yeah, hopefully we can go 2 for 2 with bodies.
Should be nice, and hopefully we can get some money back this time. But yeah, 2 more things before we end up, mate. Best bet around the country. If you haven't won bet, where are you going to put it and why?
It's Polygot. I just think, failed first up, but I think, gets a better deck here, better setup. I think, just wins Polygot, in my opinion.
Yeah, Woderton for me. Definitely $2.90 is a price that I can have. If I have to go for a little exotic play, though, I'd say if you get a same race multi, if you can get another Will and Treasure at the moment in a top 3 same race multi, I'd be playing that as well.
Very nice.
Best roughie around the country, mate. If you can have one bet on a roughie, who would
It's
you
a
pick and why?
rogue one because I don't have this one on top, but I'm certainly scared off it. Rosehill Race 9, Shadizi, $61, $11.25 to place. I'm back on my bullshit when it comes to imports. There's a Frenchie that came on over for Chris Waller, had one run a few months ago and then didn't really, acclimatize well. But, it's been in Australia for a while now. Had a very quiet trial to start off. I'm not saying it's going to come out and win here at $61. I'm not playing I'm not loading the thing, but I'm very scared of what it could potentially do here. At $11.25 to place, I don't mind it. So Shadizi is my best roughie chance.
Caulfield Race 5, number 3. Future History at $21.
I thought you'd be on this. It was almost mine.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great pick this weekend. It's a great race, to be honest, and there's a lot of different value chances that you can go for, but that is going to be my
I'm with you there. That genuinely was almost my roughie of the day as well.
How good.
All right, mate. Anything else to say to the punters before we head off?
Thanks for giving us a listen. I can confirm, and Cashy can confirm, that last week in all of our years, it has been the most listened first podcast that we have released. By far. We're very up in numbers at the moment, when usually the first is usually probably our worst of the season as we kind of warm up and people kind of realize we're back. But we had pretty good numbers last week. So thank you very much for listening. If you're new and you like what you see, like we said, subscribe, do whatever you want. But if at least just come back and listen, that's all we can ask. But thank you guys very much. And yeah, we're definitely growing a great community. We've got
100%.
How many punters do we have? 200 punters or so.
About 180 in the tipping comp.
Yeah, 180.
2 years ago, that was like 40 of us.
Yeah, so it's and it's not a heap of our mates anymore that are getting in it. They've done their supporting for us, and and the ones that so we don't know a lot of the people that are in there, but we know that they're supporting us. So yeah, it's been big for us. I appreciate it a lot. As we keep growing, hopefully we can bring you guys some more better content. Let us know what you want to see. Give us as much feedback as you want to give, I guess. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for that. And we'll catch you guys, just me, next week.
You'll hear me very briefly. I'll send in my best bets and my Group 1 tip, but you'll only be seeing Nick because I'll be on the sunny beaches of Fiji. Look out for some Fiji content because I get free golf as a part of my package. So I might be doing some birdie watching, fairway watch, as a few people have been commenting. Fiji edition. So yeah.
How good. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. We'll catch you guys next time.
Beauty.
How good. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. We'll catch you guys next time.
You got to make sure